on MLS have seen Smokey Joe, but not from underneath. So Steve asked me to show what this looks like. And here we have the jack shaft, and it's a 2-to-1 gear reduction. There's your little pinion gear, and you see the jack shaft right here is going backwards and turning the drivers forwards. And also, I think this is real neat, the drivers are equalized because it doesn't have to be hooked up except by the mesh, so it's centered here on a pivot, you know, and they can really equalize that way. The other unique thing here is the wire that the rear truck is able to pivot on. It's rolling on a bearing underneath there, and I can take 3-foot radiuses with this engine. I've not tried smaller because I haven't found smaller, but the very smallest track at Diamond Head, it'll roll on no problem whatsoever. So I like to run on that small track. And I recently sprung my front bogie, so it is making better contact with the switches as I go around the track, and I can run on John's layout better. And then I just finished putting my new chain and coupler on here. This is the new AccuCraft coupler, and it just happened to fit my little slot real well. I hardly had to modify it at all, and it works. It opens the coupler with the lift bar, and the engine will shine up a whole lot better than it looks right now with a metal polishing cloth. But I just don't do that because I figure all I'm doing is just wiping away part of the engine. Now, one thing that I don't use that Charlie Myhnier put on this engine is this water pump. I can actually hook up to a water tank through this connection right here and pump water. It's got check valves from this water pump into the boiler, and you can sit here and pump, and it'll pump water into the boiler. The Goodall valve to me is just as simple, so I use the Goodall valve. The other thing I like about this engine is the throttle is actually on the steam dome, and you can see it right here. It works with a rack and pinion gear, radio controlled, and it's right up in the steam dome next to the safety. And the other thing that people don't know about some of Charlie's boilers is the boiler is actually put together with O-rings. I can take this boiler apart, which I've had to do once to replace the O-rings. But if I was ever to get any problem inside the boiler, it comes apart with 2 screws once you have the boiler out of the engine. The other thing, I don't know if you can get in here and see, but the sight glass is actually a window into the boiler. And so there's no guesswork, you know, as with a tube. You can just look in there and see the level of the water in the boiler. Of course, all of Charlie's engines run on propane. Here's a propane tank. And I have fixed this propane tank in there now to where it doesn't move when I turn the engine over, and that's real convenient. This wire that the rear truck runs on is prototypical. I looked it up, and I've seen several engines use the same arrangement in the prototype, the older engines. That's about it.
Thank you.